We went to the 12 Apostles years ago, right? My grandma's perspective on it was like, oh, it looks very beautiful. You know, it looks very nice. You know, wind is coming, ocean looks nice. But Uday, it is 12 big rocks, you know, like... She has a good point. Why are we here? My knees are hurting. I want to go back home.
And she's not even the one that's driving.
Exactly.
All right, brother. Welcome to the Fam Squad episode.
Nice. So,
Fam Squad.
Fam Squad.
With the help of ChatGPT.
With the help of ChatGPT.
Yeah. So we actually sat down one day to plan this episode, a few episodes through ChatGPT to see what ChatGPT would say, right?
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, but it was funny. Like the ChatGPT was giving us everything that we needed, right? Especially with ChatGPT 4, man. ChatGPT
4.0, yeah.
Goes really, really well. But it just felt a little bit too robotic.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And
I mean, it helped with like a bit of the structure and stuff, but in terms of like what to say, it was like, I don't know, bro. It was like reading a book or some shit.
Yeah.
It was way
so
too.
I decided to just tell it, how about making it more Gen Z?
Making it more Gen Z. And I remember the response, bro.
Yeah, and then it just started to like give me Fam Squad with all the emojis and all this shit.
The emojis.
Which, you know what? I'll take it. Like it helped us generate the ideas for episodes and like what we're going to talk about and to talk about road trips with family specifically.
Yes.
I think road trips with friends are usually like, you don't have to plan a lot because the unforeseen circumstances are like part of the fun.
Exactly. And you expect those unforeseen
Yeah. And it's just
what
funny,
you want. That's what you gotta look for, bro.
Exactly.
That's actually what you look for.
But when you're with your family, it's different, bro.
It's
like,
far more different.
when you don't know where to go or like you get lost a little bit here and there, then that's where like your family in the back will be like, Hamka, are we going the right way? Where are we? Hamka, you sure? Hamka? Are we okay? I'm like, shut up!
The stress, bro. The stress goes through the ceiling, man.
Exactly.
My mom starts being like, yo, Chandra, I don't know where are we right now, man? I don't believe this. I told you to turn right 3 kilometers ago. Why are we here? And I'm sitting in the back and I'm like, bro, we wanted food, right? There's a restaurant right there. Let's just fucking stop, man.
Right. I don't know, like as much as we love our family, there's always so much stress that comes with like planning things with them and everything.
Exactly.
Which is kind of, I don't know, it's a very interesting dynamic that we definitely will talk through the episode with like the dynamics of family versus friends.
Yeah.
But before we start with like the road trip part, right? With especially in Melbourne because we haven't been anywhere else other than in Australia. But I wanted to start the episode with not a somber tone, but recently, just yesterday, my grandma passed away. Speaking of family, right? My grandma passed away, and it's kind of sad that I'm not able to go back just because of visa things right now.
Yep.
I'm not legally allowed to go anywhere right now,
And
it just got me thinking with where life has been going in terms of like, I just found it weird that this 90-year-old lady that came from Indonesia started her family life in Singapore, and to see like almost 100 people show up at her funeral, and this whole family started from her.
yeah.
Like,
wow.
the day she passed away, instantly that went through my head because the group chats are going like, is everybody coming? And then my mom, my parents, my family, my cousins like kids, like there's so many people coming there, and this whole family started from that one person, and that just made me go like, isn't that crazy?
Isn't that like beautiful?
Yeah.
Wow.
It just got me thinking like how much I should have really like appreciated this lady a lot more than I should have this past few days. She was already sick for a while, but I think I you know when in Korean TV shows they say like 10 years of my life has passed.
Yes.
That saying. I got that the day she passed because instantly it just reminded me of like just 10 years ago, she was the one cooking for me,
Mm-hmm.
and she raised me. And then a few years later, she stopped cooking because she couldn't like hold things properly anymore. Her hands were shaky.
Mm.
And then my aunt started cooking, and then it became to me going to her place and just her asking me if I ate. That's it.
Yeah.
That's all she did. And like to see that transition and to remind myself of that transition is like, time really does a weird thing where like it's not that you don't care anymore, but you learn to get used to what you have now.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's good for you to like just look back and like really appreciate where how your family started,
Mm-hmm.
and like from what love it started.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, if you have, to anyone who has like a normal family, a beautiful family, it doesn't even have to be blood, right? Sometimes you can have like a family friend that's always been there for you.
Yeah.
I think it's just nice to like look back and appreciate what they've done. And I think that's where I was at recently.
Yeah.
And I'm not too sad about her death because, I mean, dude, she's lived 90 years, man. She's like the G, right?
Yeah.
I can call myself like the G, and like Andrew Tate can call himself the top G, but my grandma, 90 years old, all right, started a whole generation of like, and she saw 4 generations of her family, right? Her kids, and then her kids, and then her kids. So she saw 4 generations of her family, right?
Yeah.
Like she's the real G. Like
Wow.
to see that amount of family that came from one lady, I think she's definitely one of my top Gs.
Yeah.
And I think it's a reminder for everyone and not just myself. Like sometimes we just look at our grandma as just grandma,
Mm-hmm.
or like even for work, right? When if you tell someone, oh, my grandparents passed away, and they're
Mhm.
just like, oh, that's sad, but I'm sure it's just your grandma. But she's the one that started the whole family, you know. Like
Yeah.
give her some respect and like give me some time to like at least reminisce in her
Absolutely.
moments. Yeah.
Yeah.
Even if I'm happy, like doesn't mean I want to work, you know, like just let
Yeah.
me reminisce
Yeah.
in her good memories.
Yep.
Yeah. But it would have been cool, man. Like this episode is definitely for her because it's so weird to think like my lineage started from Indonesia, and then one of us ended up in Australia. And like it would have been so cool to actually bring her to Australia and be like, your family's here as well.
What?
Yeah.
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 Wow.
It's like for her to see that would have been, yeah. For like a country girl back then to see like her generations go by over here, I think that would have been really interesting.
She could. Yeah. She could. It's like this. It's like if you opened up like franchises all over the fucking world.
yeah. You open franchises for your family, yeah. That's essentially it, right? Like each of your family members have like different franchises over the world,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, I definitely, yeah. There's not really much words that I can give. It's just,
Well,
it's kind of,
yeah.
it is what it is. And
I think to grieve and to reminisce in the greatness that you now see, right? And respect. I think that's really important. And I think it's also something that you should take in, you know? Like
yeah.
for
It
us-
was definitely harder for me to take in the fact that it's not my grandmother, but it's my dad's mom. Mm.
Yeah. You put it into
Yeah.
Change
That
perspective.
that was harder for me because like I don't know if my dad's gonna watch this episode, but he would definitely not like to hear this part because he's kind of private with his emotions, as all Asian parents are.
Yes.
Right.
Yep.
But he just called me just now, like literally just now, just being like, he just misses me and like he misses his mom. And I've never heard my dad say that. Like I've never seen him like in an emotional state of sadness.
Yeah.
Never in my life.
Wow.
And like even when my uncle passed away, like he was firm, like very stoic, very firm. And to be honest, like during a funeral, you need those people because there's
Mm.
a lot of planning that needs to be done during a funeral, bro. Like you would still need like to call the doctor, and then for different religions, you'd have to like arrange the priest, the imam, whoever that you need to, and you need the responsible stoic people to be like in charge of these things.
Yeah, like logistics and
Yeah,
stuff. Like you need
logistics.
to be able to.
Yeah, correct. And then you
handle
have to
that.
pay for the funeral, all these kind of
Mm.
things. Like you would really need these people. And my dad is definitely one of them. Like he
Mhm.
would be the one like arranging all these things. And to see him like call me and like tell him he misses my grandma, his mom, was like a reminder that my dad has feelings. You know,
Yeah.
especially for like Asian parents, you're like,
Yeah.
oh shit, my dad has feelings.
You forget it sometimes.
Yeah,
You do.
because every time you look at your grandparents, you're like, that's just my grandparent, you know. But
Yeah.
you really forget that they were just. It's very hard to picture your grandparent as your parent. Do you know what I mean? Like
Yes.
what your parents are doing for you
Yes.
is what your grandparents used to do.
To do for them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
what you see your grandparents doing is just like maybe sitting at home chilling, but they used to do the exact same thing. And then
Mhm.
it's even harder to imagine your grandparents doing the same thing as you now.
Yeah.
That's so hard. And like I can't wait to call my parents later just being like, what was actually my grandma doing back then? Like I actually don't know anything about her history.
You know, it's a question that I've wanted to ask my dad, but I guess I just haven't. Is like I wanted to ask him, how did it feel to be his mum's son? How did it feel to?
Is your
to
grandma
be-
still alive?
Yes. She lives with us,
With oh
Yeah.
yeah, there you go, yeah.
and like every morning she's the one who makes breakfast for me. So, trust me when I tell you that I am more than appreciative for her.
Yeah.
I love her with all
Yeah.
of me. Yeah.
Yeah, I wonder what that day will be like, but I'm not gonna think too far in the future because I do have the same grandma that you're talking about.
Uh-huh.
Like this is my grandma on my dad's side, but my grandma on my mom's side lives with me,
Uh-huh.
and the day she passes would be, I don't know how I'll take it because like she raised me basically, you know,
Yeah.
alongside my mom. Like she's the one that raised me,
Yeah.
and like I definitely with this passing of my grandma from my dad's side, I definitely should go back and like talk to her more, and I want to know more about our grandparents' history, you know, to the
Yeah.
people who started our family,
Yeah.
to see how the generations go by. And I feel like there's also a level of responsibility that you would want to work harder because to see these people raised you and you're like, here I am, like just fucking watching YouTube, you know. Sometimes it's like a good reminder, like, oh, I gotta do something, like, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There is
Yeah.
a whole list of generations.
Yeah. Because as much as I just grew up in Singapore and as much as you just grew up in Australia, your generations before that were the ones that immigrated and worked their ass off. And like, here we are doing a fucking podcast.
Yeah.
But
You're
yeah.
not wrong, man.
Yeah, to happier moods. Yeah, I wonder what it'd be like to bring her to a road trip. Because she would have just been in the car being like, huh? Where are we? You know, she definitely. I don't know whether they would even enjoy it, to be honest. Like,
I don't think my grandma enjoys when we go on road
Right.
trips. She'd rather stay at home. bro.
right?
She's just
Exactly.
like, great, it's another big ass tree that I don't give a shit about.
I love perspectives, bro. Like how we enjoy it and we love to plan it, but then if it's like our grandparents, it's like,
Actually, this is good. I'll tell you this. We went to the 12 Apostles years ago, right?
okay,
And
you brought your grandma.
Yes, my grandma's perspective on it was like, for fuck's sake, man, it's just 12 big rocks, bro. Who gives a shit?
Do you want to do it in her accent? I don't want to. I don't because it sounds so disconnected when you're saying it with your Aussie accent.
Yeah,
like,
true.
Give me a little bit of
Okay.
like what she would sound like, so we get the perspective.
Oh, I don't. Yeah, look, it's looks very beautiful. You know, it looks very nice. You know, wind is coming, ocean looks nice. But Uday, it is 12 big rocks. You know, like. What?
She has a good point.
Why are we? It is like a 3-hour drive. My knees are hurting. I want to go back home.
And she's not even the one that's driving. Right?
Exactly.
But that's a very, very good point because like I remember going there for the first time and I'm like, that's it? Like the rocks? You know, it is beautiful, but it's like, that's it?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's definitely something like you have to plan and like have stops where you have like maybe good food and like I don't know if you'd really have to
Like
be loving nature to love this kind of shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I don't know, something about the words road trip just sound like, oh, we have to do a road trip. We have to do a road trip.
Yeah,
We have to do a fucking road trip. I don't know why
it's
it's
a
like
whole, the whole thing, you know. It's a whole thing that you want to do.
Yeah,
need
yeah,
to
yeah.
do. It's just,
but it's annoying.
it is. Parents. I feel like when you go with your family, right? It's just like, it's more of a thing on like the list of fucking like trips you need to take as a family.
Yeah.
Rather than actually being like, you know what, let's go on a road trip.
Yeah.
Let's like, you know, drive along Great Ocean Road. Let's look at the fucking the waves. Let's go to 12 Apostles and appreciate. Nah, it's just like, oh, you know what we haven't done in a while. Oh, like a road trip. All right, we'll go next week. You know, next week.
Yeah. But I think that the main problem, not the main problem, but like the main mistake that we all do on road trips is definitely not appreciating the road trip.
Like the
actual road trip, right?
Yeah.
It's like you're so set to your goal of reaching there that you forget to enjoy like the road. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, because thank God my family like appreciated this part of it. Right? So when they first came here in December, I already planned the whole trip, and I wanted to bring them to the Great Ocean Road as well. And I had like an hour stop. I made sure I stopped like every hour, especially for anyone bringing your parents who are a little bit older, or you want to bring your grandparents. You don't want to take the whole 3-hour ride straight. Like their knees are gonna be like,
can't, bro.
Yeah, it's gonna hurt them, right? So with that, every single place where like I knew, I've done the Great Ocean Road probably like 4 or 5 times at this point, and then I knew like which roads would be like, oh, there's going to be a view here. There's going to be things here that we can look at. We can stop here for a while.
Yeah.
Just go to the toilet just to see the small town.
Yeah.
Right. Just take that small town break. And they really appreciated like seeing these small things. Like, oh wait, when you stop at like a small town, what I forget the names, man. Is it Torquay? I forgot which one of the small towns that you stop at.
Fuck, I should know this shit, man.
Yeah. There's one of the small towns that you stop at that you're like,
Lawn.
Yes. Yes, oh my god. So you stop at this place called Lawn, right? And you're like, where do these people stay? It was just like, you know what I mean? Every single time I reach like a rest stop or like a random small town, I'm like, how did they go to work? You know, like, it's just a very small thing where like sometimes you just make conversations with these people who work there and stuff. And it's just interesting. Like, those are the things that's part of the road trip that makes it interesting. That I feel like sometimes when you go with friends, you just go straight like, oh, we're gonna be there in 3 hours, bro. We're gonna be there in 3 hours. We're gonna see the 12 apostles and like enjoy. Bro, slow down.
I often on road trips, especially the whole Great Ocean Road trip, I love the rest stops far more than I love getting to where we need to be, because you get to where you need to be and it's like so anticlimactic.
Yeah.
It's like the trip itself was just,
because if you're going on that trip for like a 3-hour drive, right? That whole 3 hours is you anticipating for this.
You can't
one
waste
moment.
those 3 hours doing like and exactly, you're anticipating the final destination, right? Yeah.
So enjoy the middle parts of it, and it's gonna be like, if it's a 3-hour trip, expect it to be like 5 to 6 hours. Right.
Allow me to share a story of my last Great Ocean Road trip. So me and the boys, as you know, we play tag once a month every year. We get together, we decide which month we're all going to play. By the way, if you guys don't know what tag is, it's Tiggy, you know, you tag someone, they're it, and you run, whatever. If you haven't seen the movie Tag, that's basically what we do. It's like once a month. Some person is it, you go around tagging the boys. It's so much fun, really good fun. We like run into each other's workplaces and shit. We probably shouldn't, but
exactly.
but we do. We do. So the last day of tag, the rules were that you couldn't have a locked house, you couldn't have a locked door, you couldn't be. The rest of the month you can like lock yourself, right, in like anything, like your house or whatnot. But the last day you needed to be accessible. Like if someone was to like come like chase after you and then like you're like hid behind a door, it needs to be unlocked.
In your own house,
even in your own house. Yes.
So fucked
yes,
up.
that's the rules that we had. And so me and another one of my mates, we decided for the last day, you know what? We're just gonna run. we're just gonna fucking run.
Oh yeah, you remember? I think
Yeah.
you went on like a road trip just to like
Just to
get
run.
up. It's so fucking
Me,
stupid.
yep. We got in the car and we were like, you know what? Fuck it. Let's drive to the 12 Apostle. No one is going to be crazy enough to fucking chase us all the way out of here. And bro, let me tell
What
you,
time did you start? Like to go to the 12 apostles?
it was like 9 a.m., bro. It was because it started at 6. The rule.
Yeah.
No,
6
no,
a.m..
not 6. Sorry, it started at 12.
Mm-mm.
But we already wanted to be on our way before it even started. So we left at like in the morning, like 9, 10. And by the time 12 even rolled around, we were already at fucking, like, the Mac is on the side of the fucking highway, like eating our lunch. But here's what I wanted to say. The drive for that trip was amazing, bro. It was like 2 of us in the car. We had music blasting, windows down, the fucking waves on the side of the ocean. It was such an ethereal feeling, bro. It's like we forgot about playing tag and we were just driving down the road, having a road trip, and it was amazing. It was so good. And I think that's that's a big difference when you do it with when you do it planned versus unplanned.
Yeah. I think I think that's the main difference between like a family road trip and like a friend road trip. But obviously everyone has different dynamics with their family.
Yeah,
like some of you
yeah.
are a lot more casual with your family, like
Yeah.
amazing heads up.
We're
to you.
not.
Yeah. I think it's just different with Asian families. More like they want it nicely planned. It's just
Yes.
different.
They
It's a different form of
Yeah,
enjoyment,
yeah,
right?
Yeah, exactly.
But like when you go, the second you start in the car, that's where the trip starts, and like you have to enjoy from there. Like get your snacks ready, get like food ready in the car, and then enjoy music together, and like maybe have games. Like all these things sounds very cringy, right? Like you have to plan shit.
yeah.
But trust me, when you like plan like to get coffee here or like food in the car, have a set playlist where everyone sings along or like play a game.
Yeah.
That's what makes the whole trip so much better.
Yep.
And like just plan it. Like
Yeah.
it really, really helps a lot. Especially with my family where like my parents wouldn't like to sit in a car for too long. And I remember just being like, oh, look at that. Oh, look at this. Oh, this part of the road, like we're gonna go up the hills and stuff, and like that's where they really appreciated the moments. And like my mom wasn't just like sleeping in the back.
Yeah.
Because if she was sleeping for the whole 3 hours, she'll be like, what is this apostle? God, like, what's
What is this thing,
what
bro?
is the point, right? What's
Do
the
you-
whole point of it?
Do you want to hear the ultimate road trip story?
What?
Something called Project West.
Okay.
I'm not sure how many of you guys that are listening have seen this.
Who's
but
it by?
basically,
Wholesome Simon.
Wholesome Simon. Basically it's a film project, kind of, on YouTube, and
Where are they from?
America.
Okay.
And basically this whole video talks about how these 6 boys decided to go on a road trip before they all kind of like left their cities and stuff. And it's like a 1-month road trip that they do. They go to 11 national parks in America, and he documents the experience
shit.
they had, right? I have watched this whole video. Honestly, one of my favorite videos on YouTube. It's like this is the type of video you watch and then you're like, God, to
Like
have
you
a
wanna do it.
friendship like that.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
My main concern with doing a road trip that long would be if anything happens to the car, then I
Oh my God.
I wouldn't know what to do.
Abby's already in logistics mode, bro. It's like
Bro,
the
you
fucking
have to
car,
think about
bro.
the logistics,
But,
bro.
bro, that's the whole point, bro. You don't think, you just do.
Yeah, but when the car breaks down, you think you're like gonna be some.
Bro, I'll sleep on the side of the road.
You'll think you're some Megan Fox shit, right? Like you think you're gonna open the car and be like, oh, what's wrong with the radiator? Like you don't. I don't know shit. I don't know
Fuck,
anything.
man.
Yeah.
Shit.
Unless we rent the car, then like alright, fine. But like if it's your car, then I feel like I don't. It depends on the situation. Right? It really depends on the situation. If like you know you're gonna move out of town and you're gonna sell the car, whatever, like it's fine. But if that's your main car, I'm like, I don't know. In terms of planning, but that's the thing, dude. When I first went on a road trip with my 1999 Honda Civic, I didn't know anything about cars. I didn't pump the tires. I didn't do an engine oil change. I didn't know anything. And we went on so many fucking road trips with that car that I don't know how that car survived. I genuinely don't know how that car survived because when it's going uphill, right, you have to start accelerating at the bottom because
Yeah.
if not, it just won't.
It won't go
It won't go up. So the fact that that car survived is proof of existence of God because I swear that car was supposed to be dead. That car was supposed to be dead, right?
Oh,
But genuinely, like that's another thing, another tip. Not tip, but like another thing for you guys before you go on your road trip, right? Like, look at your car. Just make sure everything's alright.
It's in working
Like
order.
you really don't know like what's gonna happen with the car unless you have a new car or whatever. Then like you know what, you have money to ball out. That's fine. But between the Great Ocean and I feel like the next big thing with Melbourne road trip for me is Grampians. And to me, Grampians is a lot more worth it than it is with Great Ocean. Because for Great Ocean right now, it's like you really have to appreciate the road thing, and you really have to appreciate nature as a whole.
Yep.
But with Grampians, it's like there's activities around,
Yeah, that's
like
true.
like proper hiking, and like the view is actually insane.
It is.
like-
No, it's
like I remember one of the hills at the Grampians. Is it hills like the mountains?
cliffside dude.
Yeah, the cliff sides. You look over like the whole of Melbourne, and you look at it like this doesn't look real. Like it
Mhm.
actually looks like a Windows like wallpaper.
Windows
like,
wallpaper.
actually looks
Yeah,
like that.
genuinely.
And maybe it's just the day that I went, right? But there was no wind, and it was dead silent.
Yeah.
Dead silent. You're just looking at it like,
Wow.
Is this a?
The,
it's like
the
a GIF.
night sky,
Yeah.
bro.
Yeah.
The night sky at the Grampians
That's the
is
thing as well.
fucking phenomenal.
yeah.
Phenomenal.
If you do nighttime,
No
right?
light pollution, right? You look up, if there's no clouds, oh my god.
Yeah.
Just fucking little white dots just painted on a black canvas, bro. That's what it is.
See, but that's the thing. Like you say that would be perfect with friends. For
Yeah.
for our family,
Yeah.
it's already night time. There's nothing for me to see right now.
It's 10 p.m. We have to go sleep in the day.
Exactly. They'll be looking like, why we have a house? Why would we stay out here in Malay? I mean, there's no like necessarily Malay accent. That sounds funny, right? That's why I do the Indian accent with Uday, right? If I do an episode where I do the Indian accent without Uday, I think I'll be cancelled. But you equalize me, brother.
Oh yeah, bro. That's
Yeah.
why I'm here, bro. I got you.
Yeah.
Don't stress, man. Don't stress. You're safe, man. You got the pass. You got the
I got the
accent pass.
People get the N pass, but I get the Indian accent pass. Yeah.
I'm not sure how one holds as much.
But yeah, like I wanted to bring my family for like a night seeing the star thing. But
Mhm.
by the time we reached like 7, bro, by the time we reached 7, they're like, can we go home?
They did not want to be
They did
there.
not want to be out. So I think with road trips, man, like really pay attention to what you guys like. Like
Mm.
there'll be some people
Mm.
who really enjoy the road trip, like the road trip by itself. Some people who want to just get to the destination.
Yeah.
Some people who likes the food around it or like the company. I think having that plan is very, very
Yeah.
important because I don't know, it's something about saying the word road trip that just makes it sound like you have to do a road trip. You have to do a road trip,
Yeah.
bro. Like shut up, bro.
It's like it probably is the same as saying like the Japan trip or something, or like any skiing, snowboarding,
Yeah,
snow
yeah.
trip.
Bro, that takes a lot of like planning.
That
Yeah.
the boys want to go on a snow trip, bro. I can't be asked.
Someone has to like fully plan that, especially with the boys, man. Like planning with the boys. But to be honest, with the boys, if it's not like fully planned, I'm not too angry because if you have boys where you can just really hang out and just have fun,
you need
it's
like
fine.
you need like the basic shit down. Like
Yeah.
where you're gonna stay is probably a pretty good
Yeah,
one.
yeah.
Where you're gonna stay is good. Where you're gonna sleep. Maybe who's driving. Genuinely, the more I think about it, it's like, I think it's so unorganized and so, because someone will say, this is the cabin that we should stay at, so we'll purchase the cabin,
Mhm.
we'll get cars organized, right? Who's going in what car and what that's, and like, carpooling and stuff,
Mm.
and then that's it. That's genuinely it. So then they'll be like, all right, on the day 6 a.m. we'll meet up here. It's like, wait, where are we meeting up? It's like, wait, what are we supposed to take? Wait, do you guys have skis with you? I don't have any skis. Do I need to rent skis? And that's how it goes. That's how I imagine it going, bro. There's no other
Right.
way. There's no other possible way it would go.
I think we've all had our fair share of bad trips, and usually it comes from lack of planning. And if you, like for example, have a specific activity where you don't plan it well, and then like you start going to the ski, what do you call the ski place, like
Like a Mount
ski-
Buller or something.
Yeah, Mount Buller. Yeah,
Yeah.
I love Mount Buller, but if you start to go there and then like you don't know where to rent, or you didn't know you had to rent and then you can't ski, that's where like, what the fuck do we even do this
What did
trip?
we even come here? We came here to do snow angels in the
Right.
fucking in the
Yeah, yeah.
entrance, bro.
Bro, speaking of snow angels, man, like Mount Buller, another place that's known in Melbourne. I remember going there and like it was supposed to be snowing, but it didn't snow. All we had was rain, and it was windy as shit. And like it's just cold as hell that you're like, why am I wasting my time here? And like that's the thing. That was my first ever road trip in Melbourne, and I didn't know what a road trip.
Did you go with friends and stuff?
Yeah, I went with friends.
Yeah.
But all we said was, let's go to Mount Buller, and we think there's snow, because it's winter equals snow.
Yeah.
But the thing is, you want to plan it to the point where like, okay, is there actually going to be snow like today? You know, like check the weather app, or like check the news, like what days will be good
Yeah, which
for the
day, yeah.
year,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
Every year is different. So you really want to plan shit, because I get that there's a lot of people that don't like planning, and sometimes you can have fun with like the unplanned stuff, but when there's like a specific activity that you want to be done, really make sure when you get there like that activity will be
Yeah.
done. Yeah, because the unplanned stuff is like, if the fun part about the unplanned stuff is the things that are along the way,
Yeah.
you know, because one of the road trips where we did to Phillip Island, we wanted to get coffee, and we was like, I think an hour into the trip, and my friends were like, let's stop at a cafe. And then I just searched for the nearest cafe, and then we didn't even search for the next cafe. When we were driving, and then we went in, there was those signs were like cafe nearby.
Yeah.
And like, you know what, we don't care what if it's gonna be a shit cafe, go ahead. And then it said like farm cafe. I'm like, what the fuck is a farm cafe? Okay, let's just go in. Like, why not, right? Went in. So it was like a random Tuesday morning. It's raining, and all we had was like to see hopefully the penguins or whatever in Phillip Island.
Yep.
And then we went into this farm cafe. The first things we went in, we saw a cow already. The cow was that was going on. Went into the cafe. There was a whole like milking session for the cow, and then there was oxes over there, ducks everywhere, and I'm like, me and my friends just looking at each other like,
What the fuck
guys,
are we
it's a
doing here?
Tuesday morning. It's 9 a.m. right now. Where the fuck are we?
Where the
With just
fuck are-
cows going on. It was so funny, but that to me is the most random and like best part of unplanned trips. It's the random things that you pass by.
Yeah. Yeah.
Those are the moments where you're like, okay, the unplanned part is fun. And in the end, like when my parents came over, I did the same thing. Like I brought them to the farm because that's my mom wanted to see a farm,
Yeah.
right? But if you're expecting to have a good trip, like for example, you say, oh, let's go to the Great Ocean and let's see what unplanned stuff will like have fun at the Great Ocean, at the 12 Apostles. Don't do that. Like have a set activity that you will do once you reach like the 12th Apostle. Like once you reach the Great Ocean Road, I want to see the 12 points. Then at least you have that. And then the unplanned stuff will come as you go.
Yeah.
But don't be like, I want to go to the Great Ocean Road.
But see, here's the thing. I'm not gonna lie. The amount of times that the boys and I have decided to go do something, right? No one's like checked up on whether the thing that we want to go do is available to do, open, closed, whatever, right? And then so we all get in cars, we go, right, and it's not open, it's fucking closed.
Yeah,
and we
yeah,
all
yeah,
just
yeah.
stand there looking at each other like, why didn't you check the fucking timings, bro?
That is so true as well.
I genuinely like love those moments because it's like, but that only works though if like everyone is like half-assed about going.
Exactly. It's
'Cause
everyone's friends,
yeah,
bro.
because if like everyone is like they really couldn't be that bothered with going anyways, then it won't be that big of a deal. Then you get there and you're like, oh well.
Exactly.
Fucking
So
no one checked.
Imagine you doing that with your parents.
But yeah, because then when we get there, they'd want to really do it, right? And then it's not open, and then the mood isn't. Oh boys, we fucked up. It's like.
Yeah.
Why the fuck did no one check that this was open?
Your grandma starts taking out the parathas in the back, being like, "No, we can't have it outside.
Exactly.
Now we have to eat near the car in the middle of a car park where everyone is staring at us eating our curry."
I've realized in this talk that I haven't gone on a family road trip in like a while, you know.
Yeah, we don't
That's
have to
how-
do it too much.
Honestly.
Trust me, we don't have to do it too
Yeah,
much.
you're not wrong.
Like I love my family to death. I did that one road trip. I think that was good for a few
that was
years.
good. That was good for a few years.
Yeah, that was good for a few years.
Filled
man.
up the bank.
Yeah. Filled up the bank. I love them to death. But yeah, there were moments, right?
You insufferable little shit. Fuck off.
I just remember. I mean, we come from Singapore, and like everything's very city like, right? The whole place is a city, and driving through like 30 minutes worth of unpaved roads was something that like my parents were looking at me like they kept asking, "Are we going to the right way? Are we at the right place?" I'm like, "We are. Just wait.
Just
this is Australia, right? The roads are big. It's a big country with like the middle of Australia is nothing but like land. So just give me 30 minutes to drive, right? Like we'll be there. We'll reach the Great Ocean roads with the 12 apostles. There's basically 6 apostles right now because everything's like
There's only 6 apostles left.
bro. Like have you been there recently?
I have.
Like,
well,
everything's almost done at this point.
when I left because of tag, we never got to the 12 apostles.
Yeah.
We only got like a little past lawn, and they were like, this is too far. Let's fucking back. Let's go back.
Yeah. To end it off, don't forget your time adds with the time to drive back home. Right?
Yes.
We tend to forget. We do tend to forget. As dumb as this sounds, we tend to forget. We're like
3
it's
hours.
just a 3-hour trip. 3 hours equals to 6 hours. All right?
6 hours.
3 hours plus your unplanned stuff, 2 hours. That's a 10-hour trip. So plan that.
It's a fat trip.
Yeah.
It's a
plan
fat
that.
trip.
Yeah. Especially if you're doing a road trip during the winter. It's coming to winter right now. And like you start your trip at 12 p.m. You're going to reach home by like 12 a.m. All right? Just be prepared for that.
It also gets dark at like 5:30.
Yeah.
so.
It is currently 5:47 and it's already getting dark. So,
Yep.
all right. Hope you guys got some good tips. I don't even know if we shared anything about.
I don't think we did, bro.
I think we did, but through our stories, all right? Through the stories.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Have a good road trip, everyone. Great Ocean, no, Grampians. Which one's your favorite? We'll say at 3, 2, 1. Oh, do you already say
I
it?
said Grampians.
Grampians, yeah. Grampians for the win. Grampians, and then
But the Great Ocean waves are pretty cool.
it is.
Yeah.
It's really cool, but only during the summer, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But Grampians is the go-to one. Yeah, within all of it, I feel like Great Ocean's a little bit overrated right now, but Grampians. Yeah, go to Grampians, everyone.